Hi, welcome to our story templates part of this workshop. This is my favorite part. So, when you have a story to tell, you can put it into a frame or a map, mind you, and you can tell the arc of your story to get to the point you're getting at. There are three that I want to share with you today. The snapshot is one of my favorites. So picture an old school camera with the lens there at the center, the flash bulb, the shutter, and then some adjustments that you can make along the way. So if you sketch that out on a piece of paper, you are then setting your scene, and you actually write the scene on that part of the camera and say, this happened in the farmer building in a classroom, and it was on the second floor. The room was so cold I was shivering, and you're setting the scene. And then you consider the focus. So you go right there where that heart is, and you think about, what's the focus of your story? What's the focus of the message that you're trying to send? Whatever the focus is. And for this story, I want to focus on the student who walks through the door. So we have the scene, and then it gets tighter, and that's what I'm pointing at. That's my focus. And then what will I illuminate? What does the flash capture? I want to capture the color of her hair as she walked through my classroom. And then, do you need to speed it up or slow it down? That's the adjustments to keep the subject in focus. So as you're telling your story, where do you need to pivot or move or change or go faster or slow really far down? So you're making sure that you're capturing that moment. And then, are you ready? Click. Take the picture. That's your whole story. You're not trying to get somewhere with it. You're just trying to tell the story of this amazing student who walked through the door with brilliant blue hair. Once you considered the blue hair, you looked closer, and she had the sweetest smile on her face, right? You just are getting to that point. And if you're using it to tell a story, right, people think that people with different color hair might not be as professional, but you have this story, this moment in time where this student walked through your door and was the most professional, et cetera, and you tell that story. So that's a place where you might use a snapshot. Another one that you might try is a bridge. And you see there's many different bridges here because that's what bridges are. They're different, but they get you from one place to another. And so you would sketch out your bridge, and you are going to share the perspective. Are you looking at the bridge? Are you crossing the bridge? But you're going from one place to another. So you write that down. I was a teenager, and then I went off to college. I was pregnant, and then I became a mom, right? Where were you, and where are you going? What are the guardrails on your bridge? Is it a footbridge and there are no guardrails? Or is it a big bridge where there are multiple undulations and guardrails along the side, and those are keeping you in your story, and you talk about them? I was a new mom, and one of the guardrails was I looked at how my mom and my grandmother were parents. The other side is I looked at my mother-in-law, and then this was the path I was on. Things that you want to include. They could be warnings or insights. And that's your story, right? What's the length of your bridge? What is the way that it arcs? All of those things. You draw that out, and then you put those pieces of your story onto your bridge. Then you use that as a map to draw in the rest of your story. And the third type I want to talk about today is a pathway. And a pathway is simply one that meanders. It can look like any of these different things, but there's not necessarily giant obstacles in your way. There could be junctures, or it could just be a stepping stone path that you're going from one place to another. And what I encourage you to do as you're using this map is to say the thing on the path and then the emotion that you felt. Say the next thing on the path and the emotion that you felt, because those emotional places that you can include in your story are where your audience connect. Try them out, map them out, sketch them out, and then literally think of it as a map where you're just putting words, little icons along the way. Then you go back and you use these maps to create your whole story. I hope that they work for you.